Hi, I'm Dennis Weiss with Eagle Communications. I'm so happy to be at the corner today. Gene Winkler has made us a little studio. Look at that water behind us, Roger.
It's wonderful. We're the city between two lakes, and to have that background, it's amazing.
Isn't it great? The great things that come out of Gene Winkler's studio, and we get to be a part of it today. So here's why we're here. I live in Abilene, but I work here with Marion all the time. You're one of our oldest and best communities. We've been in partnership together as a broadband provider, and you as a city before you came to the city manager's chair. And we have some cool things going on in Marion, Kansas with you and I as our organizations in a partnership. And Gene's Corner Show is giving us a venue to talk about it today. So let's kick it off. I'm a broadband provider. You called me, left a message, and I called you back, and it was, we want to talk about what we can do with broadband to help Marion, and I came and sat at your desk. I told you about some things we'd done in Abilene, which was some public Wi-Fi hotspots, and what we had found out about that, and we really started brainstorming at that point, Rogers. We have a project we're going to kick off before school's out, I think is the promise I made to you, to have some public Wi-Fi hotspots here, but I want to talk about it from the economic development standpoint. What do you think that Marion is a community, where we are, where we want to go to, and what you're going to use this broadband project to do? So take it away.
Well, with your permission, if I could take it a little bit back to the history, because
Great.
More than just Marion, so many of the rural Kansas towns came into existence because of a brand new technology known as the railroad.
That's right.
And the railroad enabled towns like this, and Abilene and Salina. All of the towns grew at a very rapid rate, became a thriving part of the economy for our entire state. Well, fast forward 70 years, railroad had redefined, towns redefined themselves, and rural Kansas started slipping a little bit back. Interstate system came into existence.
Thanks to David Eisenhower.
That's right. Our hometown boy from
That's
Abilene.
right.
But with that, economic development then once again experienced a huge resurgence in rural America.
Mm-hmm.
And now I see we're on the third wave of technology that really is connecting people once again in a way that's never been around before.
Mm-hmm.
So the railroad brought communities together that previously you just could not make those connections. The interstate then made it personal, not required on mass transit,
Mm-hmm.
but mobility.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're on the cusp of we truly are connected locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally. And I think for economic development, this is a very exciting time. And the broadband and this partnership allows us to get moving for the future. So I look at it, it's the railroad now through light through a wire.
That's an interesting analogy. I sat in your office a little bit ago, and we were talking about some of the things I've said in public that maybe other people regret but I really don't. And I've been asked the question more than once. Okay, is broadband stimulative? Is it a natural stimulant to the economy? My answer to that has always been no, despite what you just said. But my answer, I think, is more pointed towards how it can be used to stimulate an economy. And that is, no, broadband's not stimulative. People are stimulative. But what a tremendously powerful tool broadband is, just like an interstate highway and just like the railroad was to rural Kansas.
It absolutely is. The opportunity that lies before us, the railroad, again, it just connected places, but nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
But then you had people like Sears who saw the value in selling his product and, more importantly, his services via the railroad. Now today, we have in rural Marion, I've got some very unique businesses that have existed in our town for many years. And that message is very strong within our community, but now we have the opportunity to reach far beyond our corporate borders. We have the ability to share the information, allow things to move forward. Even the services that are offered in Marion, any rural community, now we have a vehicle to communicate anyone visiting, even driving through or near our community, will be able to identify what's available.
There's an exciting program that the state of Kansas has sponsored through one of its sub-agencies, if you will, that enables people to understand what the power of the internet can do for small town business. But what they really focus on is business analysis. They sit down with a business and they say, tell us what you do today. They walk them through those steps. And then they make the suggestions, here is how you can reinvent yourself using the power of the internet. And in one of the stories that I had heard at one of the conferences was a lady from Marysville who really ran, she sold flags and she sold knickknacks. And her business was okay. It was really doing okay, but she thought it should do better. And it became a project of Network Kansas. So Network Kansas went through that process with her, and she stood up in front of a large gathering in Salina and said what a tremendous renovation it had been. She had hired 4 or 5 or 6 more people, and she was literally selling flags all over the world and at a great percentage increase compared to what she had been doing, simply because she found a way of being viable on the web. What a great story, and that can happen here in Marion as well.
It already is. We've got a recent success story, Cybotech Laboratories. They're a food forensic operation. Because of the quality of life that's afforded Dan and his 4 children, wife, Marion was a very attractive community to come to. Because of what is available from the broadband in our community, we now have an international food forensics laboratory located in downtown Marion, Kansas, serving clients from the East Coast, West Coast, as well as overseas. That's why I'm excited about the partnership between the Eagle and the community with the hotspots. For us, we've got a long, valuable history of our downtown community, and then we have a park, Central Brooker Park, absolute showcase. And now, with this launch, and probably a few more weeks away, but with the launch, we'll have the ability, anyone visiting our town is going to be able to interact instantly, find out what's going on, where it's happening, and really enjoy that time in a relaxed environment. And that's what we're excited about.
When I started working for Eagle in 2005, I was fortunate to be part of the team that wrote the broadband mission statement. And the statement that I was able to contribute was this one, that we seek to be the premier partner for the economic revitalizations of the communities we serve. And I remember saying that to my group, and they looked at me kind of funny, and they go, why would we do that? My premise then was, if we want our business to grow in rural Kansas, we have to help rural Kansas grow. We, as a good service company, we're going to get our share of whatever business exists. You can only improve your product and customer service to a certain limit, and if you start high, you don't have a lot of room to grow. But what you can grow is your share of the organic growth of a community. So I think that's true, and I think we've done a good job of that. But we quickly, as we became more knowledgeable about each community that is in our footprint, these communities have a boundary. The city limits. Marion's is here, Abilene's is here, everybody's different size. But here's a common thread. It's pretty hard to put more people quickly, permanently, in any of our central Kansas communities. Our goals are more, can we hold on to what we have, and can we grow just a little? That's what it takes to fit them in the boundary. However, I think you can grow people temporarily. I think you can double the population of a small town over a weekend. And I think you can incrementally show the value of true economic growth by bringing people temporarily to town. I see in Gene's studio here, he has a Chingawassa Day bulletin board sitting over there in the corner, and that is an example of your community's way of growing the size of your economic footprint for a temporary period of time.
It is, but that temporary has already proven in our community to allow us to grow. I'll share my personal example. We came to Marion for one of the festivals. It was actually not Chingawassa, but we came to town for Art in the Park, residing in another state at the time. Got to experience the community a little bit, and made a comment, well, we were staying at the lake, and we meant the reservoir. And one of the local businesses said, well, you mean the county lake? And what are you talking about? Shorten the story up, wife ended up with a cabin for an anniversary 13 years ago, and now
Here
this is
you
my
are.
forever home.
Here you are. I have an opportunity to talk to a lot of city managers like yourself, and I always tell them, don't underestimate the power of your community if you simply expose people to it. So you go back to your railroad highway broadband example. We can expose so many more people to the benefits of Marion, Kansas via the internet than we could with the railroad and even with an interstate highway. The power of the internet to connect people to places, and the power of video like the one you're watching to transfer ideas and value statement is just unparalleled in the ability to move people.
Absolutely. And the uniqueness of this offering, it will allow us to maintain a lifestyle that people have long protected, of the family values, the very safe community. And at the same time, literally at our fingertips, we can do commerce, grow our businesses, grow everything for the future, regardless of your geographic location now.
Mm-hmm.
So railroads were limited by where the tracks could go. Interstates are limited where the roadbed can go. Internet, broadband, it doesn't. It really rekindles that American creativity and looking for the solutions. We get to define our future, and we're on the leading edge of the next transformation in our country, and it's really awesome to be in this location doing it.
I would agree. I think small town Kansas, and Marion certainly exemplifies that, has so many benefits that it's so easy for us to take for granted when we live here, that many people only dream about the quality of life that we have every day.
Yeah, we take it for granted. We've got a nationally recognized high school in our town, top 300 in the nation. Along with that, we've got a sports and aquatic center that I've lived in Chicago, and there's facilities setting in population bases of 1 million people that don't have a facility that equals what we're fortunate enough to have. And it was, this is part of the legacy of the forefathers of Marion. They were looking to the future and what was important. We have a state-of-the-art performing arts center in our community. Great benefits that are out there. And now we can quickly, every day, engage with others to let them know what's available here. Come enjoy our amenities with us for a while.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the specific thing we're partnering on, and I'll describe the technical side of it, and then you can describe the opportunity for Marion. We're going to put up 6 wireless access points strategically located to cover your downtown district and your park, because you identified those as the high traffic areas of which you wanted change to occur in from using the power of broadband. So my engineer drew that up. We sat down, we looked at it, we ended up putting up a new pole. You put up a pole in the park, and we're going to mount one of the access points there to better serve that park. And my promise to you was before the school has dismissed, we'll have that fully running. We're going to beat that by a considerable ways, but it will be in place before your tourist season is here, and delivering the message and the power you want to the people up and down the streets with their smartphones who want to save some money on their data plan. That's how you draw people to these hotspots. They simply say, hey, there's an Eagle Communications City of Marion economic development hotspot in the air. And they look at the splash page and they can say, wow, we can connect to this and it's free. Then from there, we'll do whatever you want to do. Step 2.
Well, we'll be working together. Part of that partnership developed today with an anticipated launch of the Marion app. Still working through the details, but now this will make it so much easier for visitors, residents to fully utilize the hotspot that's going to be established. For our prospective businesses, we do have within our central business district a few facilities that are open. Now this just leverages the desirability to move back into a downtown business district.
I would agree.
You know, it's easy to continue to spread out in a community.
Right.
But we're a community that really does, we honor the past, we're enjoying the present, but we're looking to the future.
Mm-hmm.
This will allow not only businesses, but I think of the families, and it's one of our drawing points, to be able to go down to the park and your children can play and be active. At the same time, unfortunately, all of us have to stay connected to our jobs for extended hours. We're just adding that layer on for convenience, as well as creating the opportunity for additional unique and dining businesses within our central business district. And it will allow the historical value to be showcased to the visitors and residents of our community.
Being in a broadband business, I can assure the folks watching at home on the corner today that I see broadband power being used by businesses in creative ways every day. In fact, while we were waiting for Gene to arrive to film this video for us today, we stopped at the little cafe down on the corner and had a cup of coffee, and I checked my email. And in my email is a note from a person who sent us a response from our website saying, from Minneapolis, Kansas, saying, I'm considering opening a business in my home, and I want to know what capabilities are there, and here is what I need. Can you respond to me? Knowing that they should click on Eagle is a result of a lot of years of branding that we are Eagle Communications, your premier partner for the economic revitalization of the community that you're setting in today. That's how they find us, to ask those questions. What can you do for me in a home? I want to start a business. I was talking to your economic development director on the phone a week or so ago. Terry
Jones, yes.
Terry Jones. And he was asking me what I could provide for prospective businesses. And I said, Terry, you can promise anything. He goes, well, what's that mean? I go, literally, if a business has a need, it can be done, and we are agreeable to do it. We have fiber optics that carry bandwidth into our community. We routinely bill from point A to point B based on need. And anything that they can get in Rochester, New York, they can get in Marion, Kansas. And that's the line that you can feel safe delivering to your prospective people who want to look at Marion as expansion. Anything they could do in Rochester, New York, they can do in Marion, Kansas.
Absolutely. And I've got to share that's a big reason why we're, as a community, as a city, we're reaching out to you for this partnership. We're in a fortunate position. We have a number of broadband providers available in the area. But the commitment to keeping that hometown feel and specializing to whatever the business need is. That's what we see as the strategic portion of this partnership.
Thank you.
As we move ahead.
Very nice of you to say. Larry Avery, sitting over here to my right, Larry and I work as a team all the time. Larry works for ECTV side, which is business services, from how do you sell more garden hoses? How do you sell more groceries? That's Larry's piece of the pie. However, broadband has done this. It used to be, this is advertising, this is broadband services. Really, the hotspot project we're working on with you, it's really all the same. It cannot be done, you can't drive business forward without being engaged with the ability to sell products or let people know you're there to sell products on the internet. It is so integral to success today, and tomorrow it will be probably almost all of the success of how we sell products in small town Kansas.
You know, already through our partnership, we've taken the interaction customer service with residents from a traditional 8 to 5 business model to now it's 24/7, 365 a day. Our residents can communicate concerns, issues with the city and have an instantaneous response in those emergency events.
Well, Roger Holter, I thank you for your partnership. I so appreciate the city of Marion and the folks watching the corner today. Thank you for your business that you share with us at Eagle Communications. Gene Winkler, thank you for sharing your studio today. It's a lovely opportunity to work with one of the hardest working guys in Marion who adds value here in this community every day. Folks, we appreciate what you do there to make Marion successful. For Eagle Communications, I'm Dennis Weiss. Have a great day.
Gene Winkler here today at the Marion High School at the Hill Building. We're going to go in and find out all you ever wanted to know about robotics in the school.
Malachi Sipple.
I'm William Donnelly. This is our robot that we have built. Currently, we've rebuilt it 3 different times. And right now we have it set up to go in its autonomous mode when we are ready for that.
You want to do it again, or you got a low battery?
No.
That was autonomous mode. Didn't work quite right. And then we have the driver control.
He would be the driver and I am controlling the arm for our competition. This cube that we have in the red square we have scored with, we placed it on our robot so that as soon as we started our autonomous, it would automatically score.
Now, William, tell us the difference about the autonomous mode.
The autonomous twin is the program we created, allows this to run on its own, using the program we have. Now we are placing the cube on pose.
And you score points by placing these cubes?
Yes, stacking the posts and stacking the cubes. We are only allowed 2 minutes per driver's mode and 15 seconds for an autonomous mode. Which is not really a lot of time, but if we're really good, if we really are well rehearsed with our robot, we can get a lot done in that time.
How many different areas can you stack your cubes?
We can stack them in squares, and on that post over there, which will be screwed into the ground, we can stack them on these columns right here on the sides. Each will be worth points in the competition.
And your robot will go high enough to stack on top of the... Okay.
That is the end of our 2-minute control.
Okay, so 2 minutes, it just,
2 minutes,
it
our robot
stops.
will stop.
Okay,
And that will be the end of that match.
okay. And then you're actually using a remote control to
Yeah.
run it?
Remote control partners, which we had to insert the program into the controllers, allowing it to send feedback back and forth through the robot and the controllers.
Okay,
This robot that we have built is made almost entirely of aluminum, and it took us relatively 4 days to build, not including the remakes of the robot that we have had to do, quite a few of them. Malachi is now pulling up the program. We can tell you a little bit about that. He can tell you a little bit about that. That's his area of expertise.
As soon as I don't know if I'll be able to see it on there.
and then your remote control is wireless?
Yes.
Okay,
The only wire we have are connecting these two partners, allowing us to both take a piece of the robot to make it work. And the VEX keys, Cortex that we use allows us to wirelessly control them. Malachi would get it up, he could explain to you how the program and how
I
he
had
did
to
it.
change the resolution, otherwise I'd never be able to see it.
Well, they don't really have to see it.
Can you see it?
we can see it, yes.
Okay, that is the program that is written for the driver control. It is programmed for these two blocks here are for the driver to run the base, and these other three are for the other driver to control the arm.
Okay,
And then this is the program for the autonomous mode. Tells the wheels to go forward, wait, and then stop, and then wait again, and do something else, and so on down the line.
and every movement on the autonomous mode
Is
requires
programmed through-
a
Requires a
program.
program.
Okay.
What we originally intended for our robot to do was to drive forward using these two programs, which are both sets of wheels. And then wait 4 3/4 seconds, then stop. Those are those two stops. Then wait again, and then reverse, pulling out the cube that it was pushing. Then that'd stop and wait again. Then we'd have it slide to the left, then push back cubes, hopefully pushing them correctly to get some into our squares.
Okay,
And then we would start the driver's mode.
and you get extra points by moving a cube in an autonomous mode.
Yes.
Okay, very interesting, guys. Very interesting.
And for the competition, we will have a partner, right, Malachi? We'll have like another school or team to help us, and we'd be going against similar two teams for the blue.
And there's 2 robots competing at the same time? Or is there 4?
4 robots.
4 robots,
2
okay.
schools, 2 robots, and we are battling against each other, not attacking the other robots, to see how our robots perform well while stacking cubes in a time limit.
And those teams are rotated each round, and so you're gonna actually
Yes.
work with another school and another robot
Yes,
to score points.
every time. Yes.
And your first competition?
It was canceled due to weather, but it should be this weekend.
It's rescheduled for Saturday at Hillsborough.
Yes.
Okay, well, good luck, guys, and thank you.
Thank you.